Welcome to the deep dive. We all have that feeling, right? That initial burst of excitement, maybe launching a project, getting fitter, learning something new. We start off so strong thinking, okay, this time it's different. But then somehow, for so many of us, that fire, that willpower, it just kind of fades away and it leaves you wondering, why? Is there some hidden code? Why do some people actually finish what they start consistently while most of us just, well, view by the wayside?
It's a really common frustration. And what's fascinating is the answer isn't usually about raw talent or just getting lucky. It really boils down to understanding and maybe integrating these three core elements. They're incredibly powerful when they work together.
Right. And today on this deep dive, that's our mission, to try and crack that code. We're talking about inspiration, discipline, and habit. These aren't just buzzwords. They seem to form this dynamic system that can genuinely turn potential into actual results. So we want to explore how they connect, maybe where things go wrong, and crucially, how you can use them to, well, build the life you actually want. Okay, so when we talk about these three, inspiration, discipline, habit, what's a simple way to picture how they relate? Is there an analogy?
Yeah, an analogy helps ground it. Think of inspiration as the initial spark, or maybe the fuel. It's that strong desire, the vision that gets the engine going. Then discipline. That's the engine itself. It's the steady, determined force that keeps you moving forward day after day, especially when that initial fuel, that inspiration, starts running low. And habit. That becomes the well-worn path, or maybe like an autopilot you build through all that consistent driving. It makes the journey smoother, more efficient, eventually almost effortless.
That paints a really clear picture, from a spark to something ingrained. Okay, let's unpack these one by one. Starting with inspiration, we often think of it like a lightning bolt, that aha moment. Is it just that temporary feeling, or is there a bit more to it?
It's definitely got more nuance. Yes, inspiration often feels like that sudden burst you see an amazing athlete, watch a powerful movie, and bam, you want to change something. But neuroscientists suggest it's often your brain making new connections between things you already know, kind of creating a novel idea or a new, compelling desire. So the real trick isn't just waiting for inspiration to strike, but maybe learning how to cultivate the conditions for it, turning it from a fleeting thing into something more consistent. It helps you visualize that end goal, right? See the success. And that mental picture is incredibly powerful for just setting your direction.
So actively setting the stage, not just waiting around. Okay. But we know that spark, it often fades. And that's where the engine comes in. Discipline, that word discipline, can sound a bit harsh, maybe like self-punishment. How should we really think about it in this context?
Absolutely. It's crucial to redefine it. Moving from that inspired vision, discipline is really about the consistent act of doing the necessary things, especially when you don't feel like it. It's not punishment. It's more like self-imposed rules or systems you create to guide yourself towards your goals, regardless of how you feel emotionally at that moment. It's deciding, okay, I'm hitting the gym 3 times a week, rain or shine, or I'm dedicating 20 minutes to that tough project each morning, even if I'd rather hit snooze. It's that consistent effort. That's what bridges the gap between just wanting something and actually making progress.
And then the final stage, where all that effort becomes almost seamless. That's habit, right? What really defines a habit? How does it create this fast lane you mentioned?
When something becomes a habit, it's like it's physically wired into your brain. It's a behavior you've repeated so often it becomes automatic. Needs very little conscious thought, like brushing your teeth when you wake up. You don't really debate it, do you? You just do it. And studies show habits actually quiet down the prefrontal cortex. That's your brain's main decision-making area. So you use less mental energy. It frees up your brain power, your cognitive load for trickier, newer challenges. It's like streamlining your life so achieving goals gets easier and you save that willpower for the big stuff.
Okay, so we have the spark, the engine, and the automatic path. How do they really work together? It sounds like they need to be in sync.
Yeah, it's less a delicate balance and more like a sequential process, building on each other. Inspiration is that first spark, like we said. It makes you want to start. You see the possibility, feel the pull. But that initial charge, that emotion, it often fades. We all know that feeling. And that's exactly where discipline becomes the vital driver. When inspiration dips, discipline pushes you to keep going. Consistently. Even when you're tired, bored, or it just feels hard, it's the engine powering through resistance. And the long-term payoff of that consistent discipline, day after day, it transforms the behavior into a habit. Once it's a habit, it just slots into your daily life. Effortlessly, it becomes part of who you are.
That's such a key point. Inspiration starts you, discipline keeps you going, habit makes it automatic. Okay, let's make it really concrete. Say someone wants to get healthier, lose some weight. How does this play out?
Perfect example. Your inspiration might spark when you see a friend looking great, or maybe you just realize you want more energy. That's the desire. But wanting isn't enough, right? So you need discipline. That means actually doing the 30-minute workout every day, even when you're exhausted after work and the sofa is calling your name. You push through that resistance consistently. And after weeks, maybe months of that disciplined action, the morning workout or prepping healthy lunches, it eventually becomes a habit. It stops being a daily battle you have with yourself. It just becomes what you do. You almost feel weird if you don't do it.
Right. So it's not about picking which one is best. They build on each other
Yeah.
like a virtuous cycle.
Yeah.
And it really highlights that without discipline turning into habit, inspiration often just stays a nice idea, a dream.
Precisely. If we sum it up,
Yeah.
inspiration, it's the vital starting point. Gives direction, enthusiasm, discipline. That's the key to sustainable success. It works even when your mood doesn't. It ensures consistent action. And habit. That's the ultimate goal for effortless achievement and ongoing growth. Makes it stick.
Okay, this sounds like a solid framework. But if it's so powerful, what stops us? What are those common things that seem to, well, hijack our engine? Why is it so hard sometimes to keep that momentum going?
Yes. The roadblocks. They're very common. The first often happens right at the beginning. Unclear or just way too ambitious goals. If your goal is fuzzy, like just, I want to be healthier, what do you actually do tomorrow morning? There's no clear action. Or you go the other way. You're a non-runner and you decide, I'm running a marathon next month. That's usually just overwhelming. It feels impossible, so you kind of give up before you start. Then there are the external distractions. Oh boy, are there distractions today? Technology, social media, huge ones. Notifications popping up constantly, the endless scroll on feeds, those short videos that just suck you in.
Tell me about it. 2 hours can just vanish down a rabbit hole of cat videos or whatever.
Exactly. Chuckle slightly. It's almost designed to grab our attention, isn't it? And your environment matters too. If your desk is cluttered or the TV's on or unhealthy snacks are right there, it makes sticking to the plan so much harder. But maybe the toughest ones are the internal battles, mindset, and emotions. You know, when the initial buzz wears off, boredom sets in, or fatigue, that's when this little voice starts making excuses. I'm too tired. I deserve a break. That leads right into procrastination. Oh, I'll just do it tomorrow, which of course undermines the whole consistency thing. And finally, a big one. Lack of self-confidence, doubting yourself, thinking, can I really do this? That doubt just eats away at your discipline. It's fascinating how often the biggest hurdles are actually internal.
That really hits home the battle inside our own heads. Okay, so we know the roadblocks. We know what drains our resolve. How do we fight back? How do we build that solid, reliable engine of discipline? Make it stick.
Right. It's about building a system, not just relying on sheer willpower. Here are a few practical things. First, start small. Like ridiculously small. Don't try to overhaul your whole life overnight. Break big goals into tiny, almost laughably easy steps. Instead of run every day, maybe start with put on running shoes and walk to the mailbox. Instead of read a book a week, try read 1 page a day. These tiny wins feel good. They build pride, they create momentum. It's like rolling a tiny snowball downhill. It gathers mass naturally. Second, create systems and actively design your environment for success. Remember, inspiration is flaky, but discipline loves systems. Make things easier for your future self. Want to work out? Lay out your clothes the night before. Need to focus. Schedule specific times, like actual appointments. Turn off phone notifications. This is sometimes called choice architecture or environment design. You're basically making the good habits the easy path and the bad habits harder. Third, track your progress and give yourself rewards strategically. Seeing how far you've come is a huge motivator. Use a calendar, an app, whatever works. Just mark off each day you stick to it. And celebrate the small wins. Our brains love rewards. A favorite coffee, watching a movie guilt-free. These little things create positive feedback loops. They make your brain want to repeat the action. And finally, super important, accept that you'll slip up. See failure as data, not disaster. Perfection isn't the goal here. If you miss a day, don't beat yourself up or just throw in the towel. That's the classic all or nothing trap. Just acknowledge it, maybe figure out why it happened, tired, stressed, too ambitious that day, and then just restart tomorrow. Honestly, getting back on track quickly after a stumble is maybe the most critical skill in building real, lasting discipline. It's a process, not a straight line.
This is great. It really is about making it easier for your future self, isn't it? Setting things up so success is almost a default path instead of this constant uphill battle against yourself. Okay, let's make this even more real. Can we look at some people, maybe well-known figures, who really seem to embody this connection between inspiration, discipline, and habit?
Absolutely. Take Michael Jordan, obviously immense talent. But he wasn't always the star. Getting cut from his high school team, that was a huge blow. But that pain became his inspiration. A deep, burning drive to prove everyone wrong. His discipline was legendary. First in the gym, last out. Thousands of shots every single day, pushing himself relentlessly. And that relentless practice, that grind, it became an ingrained habit. So in a game, under pressure, those moves, that accuracy, it was automatic. It was inspiration, discipline, and habit all working together. Or think about someone like Elon Musk. His inspiration seems massive, changing the world. Space travel, sustainable energy, almost impossibly big goals. To even attempt that, he needs incredible discipline. We hear about the 80, 100-hour work weeks, sleeping at the factory, dedicating absolutely everything. That relentless work ethic, that tolerance for extreme effort, seems to have become a habit for him. It's what allows him to juggle these huge, complex companies like SpaceX and Tesla. And maybe a different field, Tom Hanks, widely loved, incredibly respected actor. His inspiration seems to be a deep love for acting, for authentic storytelling. And his discipline shows in how he prepares, losing huge amounts of weight for Castaway, the deep historical dives for films like Saving Private Ryan. He immerses himself. That intense preparation, that deep dive into character, it's become his habit. It leads to those incredibly believable, powerful performances. So you see, these aren't just stories about talent, they're stories about profound dedication to the process, the discipline that turns inspiration into reality through habit.
Those examples really drive it home. It's not magic. It's a process anyone can apply, maybe on a different scale. So thinking beyond just hitting specific targets, what are the deeper benefits? What does cultivating this kind of discipline really give us in our lives?
Oh, the payoff goes way beyond just checking boxes. First, obviously, you get tangible success. Discipline is literally the bridge between wanting good grades or a promotion or financial security and actually achieving them. Consistent effort compounds. Second, it builds powerful self-confidence. Every time you follow through, every small win, it proves to yourself, I can do this. You build self-trust. That empowers you to take on bigger things. You feel more in control. Third, and this one sounds backwards, sometimes discipline actually leads to true freedom. Think about it. Financial discipline, that frees you from debt and money stress, gives you choices. Discipline with exercise gives you physical freedom, energy, vitality. It frees you from limitations. It's about taking control, not being pushed around by impulses or circumstances. Fourth, it fuels endless growth. Discipline constantly pushes you just outside your comfort zone. That's where learning happens, where you develop new skills, become more adaptable. You're literally rewiring your brain. And finally, maybe most importantly, it brings peace of mind and a more meaningful life. Having order in key areas, work, health, finances, reduces stress and anxiety. It creates this sense of inner calm, of being in control of your own ship. That's foundational for real, lasting happiness. It makes you ask, are we really free if we're just slaves to our impulses?
Right.
Or does true freedom come from the structure and empowerment that discipline provides? Often, structure is what liberates.
That's a really powerful question to ponder. So if we bring it all together, the secret formula, maybe it's not secret at all, it's inspiration to ignite the journey, discipline to power through the tough parts day after day, and habit to make it automatic, effortless. It's this integrated system. Success isn't random. It seems to be built on these strong habits, forged by that repeated discipline.
Exactly. And just remember, be proud of every small step. Every tiny win counts. Don't get derailed by setbacks. Learn from them. Treat them like feedback. Honestly, the most important muscle to build might be resilience. Getting back up quickly after you stumble. Just keep showing up. That's what really matters in the long run.
So what does this all mean for you, listening right now, for that goal you've been thinking about? Maybe it means reframing discipline. It's not punishment. It's actually an act of self-respect, isn't it? A promise to yourself that you deserve better, that you can achieve more. It's about honoring your potential.
Absolutely. So start building that discipline today. Don't just wait for inspiration. Start acting, and inspiration often follows. You'll likely find it leads to successes you didn't even imagine. And maybe more importantly, you'll build this deep sense of pride in yourself as someone who takes control, who moves towards what truly matters. You really can do it.